Hey guys, back with another video, and I wanted to get on here and just talk about a movie that I just watched. Like I said in my last video, I definitely don't want to make this page about the fact that I was, let go from my job and currently unemployed. While that is still very true, this is, I think, day four, even though it is the weekend, it's still, I believe, day four. Um, and I don't know. I don't want to make this entire thing about, the fact that I did lose my job, which it happens. It happens to people. But I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it. And we're not going to show a whole lot of energy and stuff or give a lot of energy, to it because, the energy you put out is the energy you get back. And yeah, let's not do that. So, I do want to talk though about a movie that I just watched, which was A Big Bold Journey. And this one stars Colin Farrell and Margot. Can I talk? This one stars Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. Um, this movie had a lot of hidden messages in it, which is a movie for my heart because there was so much hidden meaning. And one of the first things that I noticed in the very beginning of the movie is that I knew there was going to be this huge thing around like doors. Um, because in the very beginning, Colin Farrell's character, like there's a boot that ends up being on his car, and I think he's getting ready to go out of town to a wedding, and he comes outside. It's raining. There's a boot on his car. He's like, what the? Turns around and there's just this poster that is like it says the rental car company has a phone number, and it's like in case of emergency. I think it even says like if there's a boot on your car, you know it basically was like, we got you covered. Very simple, very, you know, simple. So I guess he ends up calling and he makes a reservation for this car. He goes and he goes to pick up the car, and one of the first things when he's at the door and he buzzes to go into the dealership, mind you, which is in like a back alley somewhere. Um, so he, buzzes, and the lady is talking to him, and she's like, "Hey, when I buzz you, you got to make sure you catch the door at this exact time." And it's like you got to do it really quick, and it was just so much talk about like the car, or not the car, the door. So I knew immediately that doors were going to be like this huge symbol in the movie. So fast forward, he goes inside, and another key thing that I noticed, and there's a lot of key symbolisms in this particular movie that I just find so relevant to myself right now. And I'll tell you those hidden things in just a second. Like, I think there's times when movies or things come along, and it's just a sign for you in particular, and because it comes to you at the right moment when you may not be looking for signs, but something's happened and it's like you finally realize that, oh wait, this is for me, like this was a message for me. And I say that because, and I'm getting off track here, I say that because this particular movie came out, I think, September of last year. I have known nothing about this movie. I didn't know this movie existed. And at some point, I think I had seen it on Netflix as a movie that was coming out. And I tagged it to remind me when it does come out. Again, still didn't even remember that the movie was coming out. And then last night, right before I was going to lay down for bed, I got like an alert on my phone that was like, reminder, such and such was released. And I was like, okay. But the first thing I did this morning was watch the movie. So, and again, a lot of hidden meanings for me in the movie. Um, Now the movie, I think it goes on this journey with Colin Farrell and Margaret or Margot Robbie. I don't know why I always want to pronounce the T in her name, but it's Margot. Um, they go on this journey, and the both of them seem to be going through something different, but also the same. And it is a love story, but I think the meaning behind it is so much deeper. And I'm just going to stop. Like, I don't want to give the movie away, but I do want to talk about a lot of the things that happened in the movie and how it relates to me, and how, when God is showing, or the universe is showing us signs, how we just need to pay attention to, what it is going on around us and what those signs are. So, to the movie, when he goes to pick up the car, one of the first signs to me was that, one, it was two people sitting at a table with a camera, like a video camera, not like a camera, like Polaroid camera, but a video camera. And they're sitting at this table, and it's like an audition. It's set up as if like you were going in to do an audition for a movie, a show, whatever. And he even makes a comment about, like, what is this, an audition? Like, why do you have this camera? And why do you have a photo of me that looks like a headshot? Like, I've never given you a headshot. And the symbolism in this for me is, when I was young, when I was growing up, and young, I couldn't have been more than, I think when The Passion started, I couldn't have been more than 8, when I was like, oh, I want to act, and I want to be on stage, and I want to be on TV, and I want to be in films. And like, I had this passion for the arts. Like, I was in drama, I was in band, I was in chorus, anything artsy that you can think of, I was a part of. So seeing this scene and knowing, what I've been through, it was kind of like for me at least, watching the movie, it was like a ding, 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 like the universe is speaking to you. And what he says in this particular scene is, he goes, as he's, saying, why do you have all these things? Why do you have this camera? Why do you have what looks like a headshot? And he's like, I'm not an actor. And the lady goes, say that one more time for us, say that line again. And he was like, what are you talking about? And so he goes, what, I'm not an actor? And then like the light shut off, and it's like a spotlight on him. And I'll have to get the quote, and I'm going to end up putting the quote that's in the movie. Like, I will put it across the top of the screen, because the quote in itself in this particular moment was like mind blowing to me. Like, hold on. Okay, so the quote from the movie is, I wrote it down. It's, sometimes we have to perform in order to get to the truth. And when I tell you that quote just blew my mind, because there's so much hidden message behind that quote in itself, and how we go through our everyday lives. Basically, it's performance. We're performing for others, because a lot of times we're not providing our authentic selves to the world. 'Cause we hide our authentic selves a lot, and we're being performative. But anyway, so the movie goes on, and the doors are all throughout the movie, and they end up going through like multiple doors throughout the movie, that take them back to a part of their lives that, in my personal opinion, what I thought that they were doing, because the both of them seemed to have been struggling in something, and I guess they were at like a breaking point in their life. Like, it's, I can either go this way and it could end up very bad, or I can go this way and turn everything around, and turn everything that used to be maybe negative into something a little bit more positive. um, or fully learn from those experiences that I had, that maybe I didn't learn from. So a lot of the things that they're going through, for me, what I took from it was like revisiting times in their life that maybe were too painful to go back to and really heal from, or to really and truly learn from the situation that they went through. And again, throughout the entire movie, like each door had a significant, thing that happened to them in their lives. And I personally think, for me, when I was watching the movie, the symbolism again for me was, again, when the very beginning, the whole acting thing, something that I wanted to do, like that was my childhood dream. Childhood into young adult, like that was my dream. Then another thing that I noticed that for me directly had impact on me into my life, and I think that the universe and God was really trying to say, Zakia, we need you to pay attention to this and pay attention to what's going on. But the car that he ends up renting was a Saturn. Now, a Saturn is the very first car that I ever purchased for myself. So that was like my first big moment of like my big girl thing that I did, was buying a car for myself that I brought cash. Um, and again, it was just one of those things that's like, wow, like this, the signs, like that you're speaking directly to me. And the next thing that happens in the movie that I was like, oh, this is again something that is directly related to me, was in the movie. There's a lot of talk about GPS when they first get to, or when Colin Farrell's character David first gets to the car dealership. They're like, do you want a GPS? Do you want a GPS? Do you want a GPS? And he's like, no, I don't need GPS. I have my phone. And he ends up getting the GPS. And the GPS is like telling him where to go, right? And in the moment where at one point the GPS is like, do you want to go on a big bold journey? And he ends up, of course, saying yes to go on this big bold journey. And the first place that it took them to was a place, I think it was called Kiki's Travel something. I can't necessarily, I don't remember the full name, but it was said Kiki. It was literally Kiki's Travel something. And my nickname from high school into a young adult was, or I mean, even today, it's still, some people still call me Kiki. But it was, a lot of people couldn't pronounce my name. So they would always butcher it. So Kiki was a name given to me by one of my friends at the time. And just to kind of shorten my name, make it a little bit more, so people could pronounce my name. um but yeah, so that was another thing in the movie that I was like, wow. Like, I don't know if the universe is like talking directly to me in this moment. I don't know if God is trying to like really like put like a lens on my face and be like, I need you to pay attention. But my takeaways from this, and you'll see a lot more on my channel, that I'm very big into, mindset manifestation. I'm very big into, making sure that you're watching for signs, angel numbers. All of those things are just things that I am into, and I believe cold heartedly that we're always being shown something, and it's just a matter of us paying attention. And for the first time in my life, I'm actually at a point where I can slow down and actually pay attention to the signs. Again, because like I said in my last video, I did lose my job a few days ago, and this is day 4 of me being unemployed. But I'm not upset about it. I would think the fact that I have 3 kids and I have a mortgage, and right now, after this next check, like I really don't have a source of income coming in. You would think that I would be terrified, but I'm so calm and relaxed about the situation. Again, another one of those signs. But to the point of the movie, I think what the movie, for me, my takeaway was that I needed to sit back and reflect on some of the things that I have been through in my life, and take some of those moments and understand if I really learned from those moments. And, if I could go back into some of those moments, would I change anything? Or, would I keep it the same? Um, And I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I think I'm supposed to be going on a big, bold journey. So I'm saying all this to say that I am going to take you guys on a big, bold journey, a big, bold journey with me. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I know that last year I said to myself, I wanted to take content creation seriously. I wanted to, start picking up the phone more and really like posting on like TikTok or posting on YouTube. TikTok, I think, was the main kind of source that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start posting a lot more over there. But I also, I had this comfortability of like just being scared, and I had the comfort of having a stable income. And I say stable because corporate's not stable. We'll talk about that in the future little vlogs or whatever. But corporate definitely isn't a safe bet, and I think the only thing safe is betting on yourself. But that said, I want to take you guys on this big, bold, beautiful journey with me, because I think that's what God was trying to tell me, is that for once in my life, I have the chance to sit back and really think about the things that it is that I want in my life. I started in my career um, at the time when I was right after I had my first child, which was 15 years ago. So my oldest is 15. Um, and I went into a career that I wasn't in love with. I knew that it was something that was going to make me money. And I had this kid coming into the world, and I just needed to make sure that I had the means to be able to take care of her. And I've gone nonstop for 15 years in this career, barely being able to spend time with my own kids. Um, so I think this is just a time in life that I'm supposed to sit back and pay attention to the signs. And I'm going to do that. I am going to sit and listen to the universe and listen to God and you know, all the things around me, because I promise you, everything about this movie had my name written all over it. I mean, how more direct can you get than Kiki's Travel Lodge, I think it was, and that being my, nickname growing up, the whole acting reference and that being the thing that I love. And I really think that I'm supposed to look and reflect back into the things that I used to love growing up and bring myself back to the things that light fire underneath me. So, anyway, I say all this to say, welcome to my channel. We will talk movies, we will talk TV. And I like to try to find, sorry, I'm moving all over the place. I like to try to find the hidden meanings in things, and I try to look a little deeper. If you are looking to feel, I don't want to say inspired, I think this particular movie, you do have to be ready to watch, because I think it is, once you watch it, I think it is going to put you in that mindset of, of reflection. And, what is it that you really want from life? From love, from, happiness. Like, what is it that you want? I really think that this movie is going to make you reflect on that. And for that, I think it is a phenomenal movie. Because if any type of film can make you reflect on your own self, I think they've done their job. Now I know some films and stuff are supposed to be fun, but for the most part, I think that if a film can really make you have like a true self-reflection, then I think that they hit the mark. So again, we'll talk film, we'll talk TV, we'll talk life. I may update you on, a random Tuesday if I about unemployment, or, about corporate, about the mindset, and, making sure that you're in the right mindset for things. And that's just me in a nutshell. That's my life. And I am definitely in a season of, trusting trusting the unknown. We'll say that. So until next time.